Greetings, it's New Zealand naturopath Eric Bakker, author of Candida Crusher. Have you checked out my website yeastinfection.org yet? It's a very good site. It's got lots of good information in it that you can read about all aspects of how to get on top of a yeast infection. I've got a question here from a patient in America who wants to remain anonymous. Eric, is yellow tongue a sign of thrush? Well, let me talk a bit about tongue. I think I've spoken before in previous videos about tongue. So a little bit about tongue and, its relevance to your overall intestinal health. So a coating on the tongue, to me, generally signifies a poor ability of your digestive system to really function on various levels. A white coating of the tongue, particularly in the middle of the tongue, will suggest dysbiosis or bad bacteria. When you've got a yellowing of the tongue, it's a more chronic form. When you've got a blackening of the tongue, it's a seriously bad form. And we find the same in the eye. So if you look at the iris of the eye, we can see white markings in the eye which signify inflammation, yellow markings which signify toxicity on a deeper level, and black markings of particular organs we can actually see when we understand iridology. We see that really as serious chronic disorders of those organs or that tissue pertaining to where those markings are. So a yellow color tells me that you've got probably quite serious small intestinal bowel overgrowth or bad candida of many years duration generally. So people with yellow tongue often will have a history of alcohol, maybe smoking, lots of chocolate and sugar, lots of gut problems, maybe chronic gut infections, history of antibiotic use or oral contraceptive pill use. These are generally quite ill people. Yellow tongue needs to be brought back to white tongue, needs to be brought back to pink tongue. It can take 1 year to 18 months to achieve that. So the best way really to get rid of a yellow tongue is to work on your digestive system. You will have found maybe some previous videos where I explained a little bit about the tongue, the areas of the tongue and how they relate to different parts of the digestive system. So the center of the tongue represents the small intestine. The tip of the tongue is more the upper part of the GI tract, particularly the stomach, is right at the tip. The edges of the tongue represents more the liver function. So go and have a look at your tongue right now in the mirror and see if the edges are a little bit scallopy or wavy. It can signify a flabby liver. When the center of the tongue is a yellow color and the edges are flabby and you're carrying a bit of weight, it signifies fatty liver. All right. So what I'd like you to do in that case is go to the doctor and get a liver function test to see if the liver function is elevated. If it is, you need to lose weight and improve your diet and improve the function of the liver. And you'll find that the tongue will actually improve. Right? The center of the tongue, if it's quite a yellow or whitish color, particularly yellow, you need to work more with probiotics and cultured and fermented foods, and also work with digestive enzymes. That's going to help you quite a lot. If the tip of the tongue is quite red or inflamed, think about your stomach, especially if the nose is red or the cheeks are flushed here red and you've got small capillaries here in the cheek. I was starting to think more about very poor functioning stomach function, low acid. So you need to use betaine hydrochloride. If the tip is okay but the center, just at the beginning, past the center, is discolored, I think more about the duodenum or the upper part of the small intestine. If the middle part is discolored, I think more about the duodenum and perhaps the ileum, the central part of the small bowel. If I see the discoloration at the back of the tongue, I think more about the terminal part of the small bowel. If I see the discoloration right at the back of the tongue, I think more about the colon. And if the whole tongue is colored, you've got problems. If the tongue is cracked, I'm going to think about too much heat in the digestive system, and these are often smokers and drinkers. People who drink alcohol every day and who smoke a lot and eat junk food or crap food have got cracked tongues. This is cancer waiting to happen. So you want to have a good think about that. So I hope that explained a little bit about the coloration of the tongue and its effects on health. Thanks you for tuning in.